Today on the show, guess what? I'm going on another holiday. All that and more on 20th Century Boy, the show that thinks the Earth actually might be a square. Welcome to 20th Century Boy. My name is Holiday Mike, and this is the inside of my mind. Welcome back for another week on the pod. Hey, if you want to support me, if you like any of my content, whether it be here, whether it be Harry Potter and the Boys, my YouTube channel, or my blog, support me on Patreon, patreon.com/Radio Mike. This is 20th Century Boy, the conversations you wish you were having about the stuff that nobody else cares about, by me, Radio Mike. And at the moment, this pod is just a weekly insight into the life of me, Mike. It's just a weekly, journal/brain dump, I guess you could say. And I hope you guys are cool with that. I've gotten some cool feedback, so thank you so much. Got a really good email from Sam Groen, who says, hey, Mike, I'm really enjoying the stuff you're putting out with all the pods. Movie Club and World Tour are a good listen while I'm on my way to work, but I also really appreciate the honesty in your TCB pods of late. I feel like I can relate to things you're saying, and it's nice to hear someone be open about their mental health. I've deleted Facebook and TikTok off my phone after listening to you talk about your social media cleanse, and without sounding too superior, it's the best decision I've ever made, so thank you for that. Anyways, keep on keeping on with the content. Truly yours, Sam. Thank you so much, Sam. I've still been doing a social media detox, and it's been great. TikTok is officially off my phone, which is fantastic, and I'm not sinking heaps of time into it, and, still doing stuff like Duolingo. I wrote about this in my blog, but Duolingo, every time I brush my teeth at the end of the day, I do a round of Duolingo. And funnily enough, and this is kind of how these things work, is now I've been doing that habit for so long that essentially when I guess, brush my teeth and I don't have my phone there to open Duolingo, my brain literally goes, go get Duolingo, and I do a round of Japanese, right? Really cool building a bunch of these sort of habits, and it's working really well. So to anyone who's been getting off TikTok and stuff, and because of me, that's awesome. I also I wasn't planning on talking about this, but here's some insight that I don't think I've specifically talking about, but I've pretty much stopped using Instagram to post my content. And for a long time, right, again, I feel like I was basing my success on my Instagram followers and the way things performed on Instagram. And then, a lot of people I saw, their content on Instagram would just suddenly pop and they'd get so many followers, and it's never happened for me. I've never really managed to I've always wanted to get to 10K. Thought that would be awesome, but I've never really been able to get to that. I'm nearly on 8K, but I just stopped caring. I've stopped caring because what I realize is the content that I want to make, I think goes really well on YouTube. And if you've been listening to this for a while, you'll know I've been putting a lot of my content on YouTube now. I've been making purpose-built content for YouTube, that is my pop culture style analysis, which I realize that, or at least I think I'm quite good at, and I'm leaning into my strengths and the platforms that sort of complement me, of which YouTube is one, and Instagram just never felt like a place where my content would thrive, which is fine if you're not basing your whole metric of success on your content thriving on Instagram, which I was. And that now that I'm not giving a shit about how content performs on Instagram or anywhere really, suddenly it's much more just about making the thing than how everyone responds to it. And it's a much better kind of world for me to play in. And I feel so much better. My mental health is really relaxed, right? And it was probably years of seeing how many people were going to interact with my stuff, like trying to think of the funniest possible caption and the funniest possible content to put up. But at the end of the day, like none of that shit matters. That's what I'm realizing more and more. And, you know, I see growth on YouTube and it makes me happy, but I'm not getting too sucked into that vortex because I know like it's addictive and addiction is bad, right? I'm just trying to find pleasure in the day-to-day things like of life, but also in just the craft of what I am doing and what I am making. And that feels really good. And sometimes I'm just, you know, posting photos on Insta, posting different bits and pieces, and that's cool. And I'm fine with that. But yeah, like I'm not making like custom short videos for Instagram and stuff anymore. I'm just not really interested in doing that. And it's making me feel so much happier. So food for thought, I suppose. And, you know, I realize as well, like I've just so reevaluated all of this stuff. Like I mentioned maybe last week or the week before that there's now like a YouTube channel called Radio Mike Podcasts. It just automatically uploads any of my podcast as audio to YouTube, right? Just automatically puts everything up there, which is cool. And originally I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work or if anyone's going to watch this. And like, I don't expect it to be massive, but I'm just looking at it now. And like in the past 28 days, so in the last month, like 180 people have watched something on that channel, which isn't huge, but it's like, you know, there's 5-6 hours of watch time on that channel. And I think what I'm sort of learning is like, it's more about just having an online presence and just existing online. And the more places you can be, the better. The more places you can be with the least possible effort is best for me. Okay. And it's working and I'm happy. So go subscribe to that channel. There's 99 subscribers. Can someone be the 100th subscriber? That would be awesome. But yeah, I'm been feeling quite good. As I mentioned in the intro, I booked another holiday because I'll tell you what, like, I think this is what I'm living for now. And I've unpacked this a lot in various therapy sessions. I've mentioned I'm in therapy and I've been seeing a fantastic therapist who I think really gets a lot of the stuff and of where I'm coming from. And it's really engaging. Go to therapy, get a mental health care plan, go see a psych. You won't regret it. But been unpacking a lot of like what I'm living for, because I think I realized a lot that at least through my 20s, I feel like I spent a lot of my life and a lot of my time seeking this external validation from others, which is probably a common thing, but you know, this probably goes hand in hand and ties into that Instagram stuff, right? Like getting that instant feedback and the likes and the follows and this validation from people external to you, right? Because I feel like for a lot of my 20s, and this is hard to say, it could be hard to hear, but I had just like this crippling self-confidence issue, right? And I needed to constantly be validating. But now reframing a lot of this stuff and, you know, having a really different life now and really loving my life now, I've realized that what's important to me isn't that stuff anymore. It's me being happy and the people around me that I love being happy as well. That's what's important to me, and spending as much time as possible with the people that I love, okay? And we've booked this holiday to Bali. Yes, I know, we're going to Bali in December. It's basically my 30th birthday present to myself. Everyone is always like, are you going to have a 30th? Are you going to have a big 30th? I'm not a massive like birthday kind of dude. Like I'm not huge on like having big parties and stuff. Sometimes I like having a little dinner or something with friends, but generally speaking, I'm much more of a, I don't know, just sort of, yeah, get a small dinner with a few people, not have a big party. And I was kind of thinking, because we kept being like, oh, what are we going to do for my 30th? What are we going to do for my 30th? And I just kept coming back to this idea of, all I really want to do for my 30th, honestly, is just relax and not think about work for a whole week. And so I want to go somewhere where I can sit by a pool all day. We can drink mojitos. We can read our books, or I can read comic books, or I can watch YouTube videos on my phone while lying down by a pool in the sun in a really nice resort, hotel, like buffet breakfast and dinner, all inclusive. That's what I want. And so we booked it. We just were like, fuck it, let's do it. So I'll be away for my 30th birthday, going away for a week and just going to be relaxing in Bali. Originally thought Fiji, but Bali just seemed so cheap, and you can get so much. And don't get me wrong, I consider myself so lucky, you know, like September last year I was in Europe, April this year I was in Japan, December I'm going to be in Bali. I'm really, really lucky. And I just, you know, back maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I didn't want to travel. I didn't want to do this stuff because, again, like travel wasn't conducive to me getting that external validation that I craved back then, right? But now all I want is just to lie down and relax and sleep and be comfortable and spend the money that I've worked for and earned and treat myself, you know. I think it's important to treat yourself sometimes in this world, and I'm really, really excited for this holiday at the end of the year and my 30th birthday, and I couldn't ask for a better person to spend it with and a better thing to be doing for my 30th. So I'll be back in Melbourne on, I think, the 18th or 19th of December, which should be really good. But any tips for Bali? I mean, it's an Australian paradise, but we're not going to be, it's not a party trip. And, you know, we don't want to go anywhere where there's like drunk Australians, you know. We just literally want to relax, not be in the midst of any kind of happening areas. Like, in fact, I would rather be in a non-happening area than in a happening area. And so, yeah, but we'll be in Nusa Dua, which is going to be so relaxing, and just, yeah, what we've got is amazing. So highly recommend you book a nice resort getaway for summer if you can, because I am literally counting down the days. It's 119 from today, I'm pretty sure, because I looked it up this morning, and I am just so excited for it. Last night I went to see Alien Romulus, got invited to the preview screening, went with one of my best friends and my brother as well. And super interesting movie. Not sure how I feel about it still, but Alien is such a good movie if you haven't seen it. Such a scary sci-fi movie. And I really do like the kind of sci-fi horror genre. A lot of horror is either like paranormal or slasher in style, right? So it's either like based on like ghosts and demons and shit, which isn't really sci-fi, maybe more in the fantasy realm. But and then there's slasher which is like Friday the 13th, Halloween, like all of those kinds of things, which maybe aren't as common these days. But sci-fi horror, I feel like, always has its place, right? Because there's a lot of sci-fi that's more just like the, how would you put it? Like the wonder of being in space. It's not horror. It's just like wonder. Like, you know, maybe drama, space drama movies like Gravity or Interstellar. Even like Star Wars, right? Like all of these things. But then you've got Alien, which is very much like lost in space on a spaceship, and there's an alien infiltration, and the aliens in Alien are fucking scary. And Alien Romulus, I guess, is, you know, because there's been so many Alien movies, and I'm pretty sure I've only so there's Alien, the sequel to that was Aliens, then there was Alien 3, but it's stylized as like Aliens Cubed, I think, like there's a small 3 above it. And then maybe is there Alien 4? Yeah, Alien Resurrection, which I think was in the 90s. And then they started like a prequel series, like Prometheus, which I've definitely seen but can barely remember. Then I think there was Alien Covenant. and now Alien Romulus. And at the same time, there was also Alien versus Predator, which I haven't seen, but that is like a crossover, almost like Freddy versus Jason. It's a crossover of Alien and Predator, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. And Alien Romulus was just a really great horror, space horror, thriller kind of movie that was genuinely very, very scary and fucked up, and is almost like an ode in a way to the original Alien. And I do think, like, especially in this age of nostalgia, movies like this in particular are always trying to harken back to what they originally were. Like, you know, in some ways, this is like this is like the first Alien almost retold in a way. Like, it's stylistically very similar. I also remember seeing a movie called Life, which I think was a Netflix original movie. It was called Life in 2017. And I remember watching Life and thinking it was almost exactly the film Alien, which I guess, like, it's hard to, if you want to make a movie about, you know, people in a spaceship and an alien comes on board and tries to kill them, it's always going to be like Alien. But Life just felt like it specifically was just they were making Alien again. But yeah, Alien Romulus, if you're looking for a different kind of movie, and maybe you haven't seen any of the other Alien movies, but I think that would be fine. I didn't pick up heaps of like, oh, remember this, or like, oh, this is from the original movie. Like, I'm sure those Easter eggs are in there, but I didn't, while I was watching it, I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. Like, it felt like its own complete thing, which is great. So yeah, really enjoyed that. And I guess when they invite people to these events, they kind of want us to then go and talk about them. So here I am talking about Alien, which was decent. And I think if you want to see it, go see it. Couple more things. I have not seen the Raygun thing, which everyone is talking about. It is completely saturating the entire news cycle in Australia. If you're not familiar, Raygun is like I'm not even going to talk about it in detail because I genuinely don't know, but basically, you know, everyone was talking about how at the Paris Olympics, breakdancing is a sport, and Raygun was our Australian breakdancer. I'm actually just playing the full Raygun breakdancing routine kind of in the background here and watching it as I go, because I haven't seen this. I actually am probably one of the only people who hasn't seen it. I just kept avoiding it whenever it came up on my feed or anything like that, because I felt really bad for Raygun, who apparently like just did an awful breakdancing routine and is being mocked on a worldwide scale. And I just feel bad for Raygun. Like, I don't know, especially like in this world where we're always like conscious of other people's feelings and being kind to other people, and then someone is genuinely like doing their best in the Olympics. I assume they're doing their best, and they like are mocked on an international scale. Like, that feels really mean on Raygun. And I don't know. I'm looking at it, what she's doing here in the video. It doesn't look terrible. It looks a bit goofy, but I guess at the end of the day, should we really just be asking why breakdancing is a sport in the Olympics to begin with? I genuinely don't. Maybe I'm the only person in the world saying this. I don't think Raygun is actually that bad. You try and do what Raygun's doing, okay? You try and do it. And it's weird because I guess you're breaking against another person. Like, you take turns breakdancing, almost like a rap battle. Okay, hang on. Okay, now I'm seeing the, I think it's an Italian. Is that an Italian flag up there? Yes, it is. Oh no, it's a French flag. Okay. Now I'm seeing the French breakdancer who admittedly is significantly better than Raygun, and maybe now I get it, okay? Because now that I'm seeing someone who is actually good at breakdancing, I can actually see why people are saying that Raygun sucks at breakdancing. But, you know, okay, this guy's doing literal one-arm handstands and shit in his breakdown. Yeah, this woman's way better than Raygun. Okay, well, that settles that. That's my live... That's my live reaction to Raygun breakdancing. That went differently to what I thought. I came here intending on batting for Raygun, and I did, and then almost instantly withdrew that when I saw someone better than her do it. But seriously, I feel like it is funny that like the most iconic thing that came out of the Olympics for Australia, at least, was Raygun. The worst breakdancer ever. Can I also, okay, this is a side note. Can I also just ask, is the Olympics the only time in which beach volleyball becomes a thing that we want to watch? I swear to God, suddenly when the Olympics are around, we're all taking beach volleyball so seriously, but I really do believe it's just because it's an excuse to, like, I'm sorry, there is a lot of like, I don't want to say perving, but I guess it is that. There's a lot of, I think, people just wanting to see girls in swimsuits, you know, playing beach volleyball. There's a lot of that kind of behavior going on, you know? I don't know how much people, I don't know if people even get how beach volleyball works. The other thing is, most of the sports in the Olympics, aside from like swimming and athletics and maybe the track events, and people are definitely going to hate me for this. Sometimes I'm like, okay, you're the Australian representative for, say it's, I don't know, like, beach volleyball. But it's like, are there that many people professionally playing beach volleyball in Australia that it is hard to become the Olympic players? Like, surely there aren't that many beach volleyball players in Australia that could make it to Olympic like level. So sometimes it looks like the people who have made it to the Olympics are literally just like the two people in Australia that just play that sport or know how to do it. I could be wrong. And I'm not trying to discredit these people. Like, I'm sure they're good. I'm just saying, is there a massive talent pool for these sports in Australia that it's hard to be the... Anyway, people are going to hate it. Those are my musings for the week. Let's do one of these. Psst, the plug! A few things to plug this week. Harry Potter and the Boys, as always, is up every Tuesday. Really loving where all that is going, and it's been so fun getting started on book 4. Go and check that out. I've also put a bunch of YouTube videos up. I'm covering every new episode of Futurama at the moment, so I've done the first 3 episodes of the new season, plus one on why I think Toy Story 5 is completely pointless, which I've ranted about on this podcast before, and on the Olympics, actually. The video game franchise Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, which was really fun, was cancelled for the Paris Olympic Games. So I did a video about that, all going really, really well, which is fun. I'd also love to plug my blog, radiomike.substack.com. I did a blog this week actually writing about a book I read called Show Your Work, which is by a guy called Austin Kleon, and how it relates to Harry Potter and the Boys, my fan fiction podcast. So would really love for you to check that out as well. That's pretty much it. Don't forget, there's a movie club at the end of the month. We are watching Brewster's Millions. That is producer Pat's submission, and we've been really enjoying the movie clubs as well. So keep your eyes tuned for that. Make sure you watch the movie so you can be up to date. And from there, that's pretty much it. Patreon.com/RadioMike is the best way to support me, but also subscribe to the YouTube channel, the podcast YouTube channel, and all my other stuff as well on social media. Would love your support across all of that stuff. That's pretty much it for today. My name has been Radio Mike, and this has been The Inside of My Mind. I'll catch you later.